And there, guys, welcome back to another episode of E&Ftv. Today, I thought I'd give you a bit of an update with regards to health, business, like I have done in two previous sort of videos. This time, I'm not in my car, although I know Janelle and Sally have raised concerns about me doing it in the car. So, but no, I'm here at the Park Plaza County Hall ahead of the M&E commercial leadership meeting tomorrow. Um, so I thought I had a bit of time to be able to, as I say, give a bit of an update. I know there's a few people that are keeping tabs of the situation with me, and um, it's yeah. I'm sure many of you have noticed that I'm not at a lot of events at the moment. I'm in and out of hospital quite a lot, so I'm in hospital or at least at the doctor's pretty much once a week at the moment. Just going through various different treatments and countless amounts of tests and all the rest of it. But um, we think now, 14 months into this journey, that we have an idea of what it is, and why it's causing the pain that it is, um, and affecting sort of day-to-day life. And that was partly why I wanted to actually jump on this, because um, just the experience of traveling today um, is, well, just getting ready this morning. Um, it probably took me what would have probably taken me half an hour. Took me just shy of 3 hours, I think. Um, you know, just the nausea and the pain that's coming constantly at the moment is really difficult. And I missed the IHS this year, and I know there were so many people that I would have loved to have seen. Adrian, big shout out to you. I could have done with one of your hugs this week, but it's one of those where you have to sort of. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm at pretty much every event that I can get to. If I get an invite, I'm going. Um, and I've had to have a very stern talk with myself, but also had to listen to advice from loved ones and friends and whatever to, um, I suppose, sort of just own what I'm going through right now, and not sort of pass it off anymore and whatever. Um, and honestly, if we weren't the ones hosting this event tomorrow, and if it wasn't something that was just incredibly important to me and the business, um, I wouldn't have come down. Um, it's it's been really really tough, and that's partly. I was speaking to somebody, Danica. So Danica Smith. I know a lot of people know who Danica is. Danica and I had a catch up. I think it was last week, and he was sort of saying, make sure, or not make sure, but sort of saying about documenting this from physical and mental health perspective, but also from a leadership perspective. And hadn't really thought about it previously, but the amount of time lost because of the condition that I'm in at the moment is been a lot, and it's put a lot of pressure on the team, um, family, loved ones, friends, um, and it's weighed heavy some days more than not. I think today is definitely a day where it's weighed a bit heavier. And these things hit you, and everything sort of drops off. All your worries and stresses and whatever drop off as soon as something medical kicks in, and it affects you and your family and whatever. Um, and I still, I still feel incredibly lucky. The team that I've got around me is I couldn't ask for a better team. I really couldn't. They've stepped up when I've not been able to, and even with me not performing to a point where I definitely would like, and where the business arguably needs me to, um, that's been a really tough pill for me to swallow. Because again, for anyone that knows me, I'm nonstop. I thrive with being nonstop, and um, having to take, you know days, weeks, um, being in bed for the last 2 days prior to me. I mean, down south today, I've been in bed, so nobody would know that talking to me if they're on the phone to me, or we're talking about jobs, or I'm submitting candidates or whatever. I'm on my side, um, probably 7 or 8 hours a day. I'm on my left side, lying down in bed, um, on painkillers and muscle relaxants, and all sorts of other, a concoction of pills that I'm on at the moment. Um, and it's sort of, from a leadership perspective, business ownership perspective, and I'm still in my infancy with this. Like, I'm not this seasoned, commercial leader or whatever. I'm a recruiter that is lucky enough to be in a position that he is, and again, I owe a lot of that down to the team, for keeping things going and being able to, um, step in when I'm not able to. And there's an essence of guilt there, and that's what weighs heavy at the moment, is not being able to, um, contribute as I would usually, and be able to be the professional and the leader that I know I can be. Um, but it's just been so tough, and I have no idea. There may be other business owners and team, leaders and whatever else that have been in similar positions, have had similar situations, whether that be health, or it could be mental health, it could be any number of things. You're constantly juggling your work stresses, your home stresses, your health stresses, and you've got to. Yeah, I've got this. I don't know if it's like a. Never really know. My partner Danny will always be able to tell me this, but I don't know if it's like a toxic trait or something like that. But I have this innate sort of need to make sure that everyone else is okay. So, everyone else is feeling okay. Everybody else is doing okay. Do you need anything? I can fix this by buying this, or I can fix this by, supplying this or whatever. And you inevitably, through no fault of anyone else's, but you just become the last thought. And for a long, long, long time, I've been the last thought, or specifically, my health has been the last thought. I've run myself into the ground. And again, this isn't, I know there's loads of people out there that are doing the exact same thing right now, and they are working incredibly hard and all that sort of there's absolutely no sort of where that I'm sort of saying that I'm the only one doing that. But I guess I'm just airing. where I'm at, um, and just going for a really tough one at the moment. Um, and I think traveling down today sort of highlighted how much of a struggle it is. And I don't want to let anyone down. Um, feel a tremendous amount of weight on my shoulders. And again, I don't really, if I really think about it, I don't think that's anyone else's influence. I think that's purely me being me and um, not wanting to accept it or taking ownership of it, which is what I said at the start. I've sort of struggled with acknowledging or sort of really accepting the symptoms and the impact that it's having with day to day life. Um, I've got three dogs, and I've not been able to walk them for longer than 5-10 minutes in over a year. Um, I was in a supermarket yesterday, and I dropped to my knees. Um, we were just picking up some meat and you know vegetables and whatever from a Sainsbury's near us, and it's just stuff like that where, let alone doing this travel and whatever, but just day to day life. It's so it puts everything into perspective. Um, and one thing that, like, again, I sort of take. One of my team sort of checked in on me at them when I was on my way down to on the train today, and they know obviously what's going on, and they knew that the ordeal of today was going to weigh heavy on me, and it was going to hurt, and they were just checking in to say, look, you want to talk? I'm here. I know it's going to be a tough one, and they could hear it in my voice. They even said it on the phone. They were like, I can hear it's tough. Um, and that's, again, it just comes down to having the most incredible people around me, whether that be work, a team, or whether that be friends in the industry, constant people checking in. Jane, you're a big person with that if you're watching this. Always checking in. Steve, just, yeah, it's tough. But we don't want to dwell on this too much. This is very off the cuff. So if you haven't noticed, I've literally just set up my laptop and thought I would take a minute and just share this stuff. I don't know if there's anyone else in a similar situation that's just struggling right now. And if you want to connect, if you want to talk about it, I, I'm more than up for it. After I posted my first video, I had two or three men specifically contact me. And it's just been one of those where the journey's been tough. If you watch back at the other videos, I won't go into it again, but like, it's just been a long one. And to be misdiagnosed multiple times, to be admitted to hospital multiple times, to be at an operation that was misdiagnosed, and I shouldn't have had that operation. Um, and after that one, I was my life was supposed to get back on track, and then I was hit with the sledgehammer that you've had the wrong operation, and we need to start the investigation all over again. Um, that was really tough. And now I think we found, like, from a CT scan. So I had all these blood tests and urine tests and stool samples and everything else, and everything came back fine, which was incredibly disheartening because we were desperately looking for answers now. And then I had a CT scan not last week, the week before, and it came up um, with a very visible and credible diagnosis of what it is and what we do next to get rid of it. And yes, I'll be having another operation. From what I understand, it'll be slightly more invasive. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but anyway. And I'm nervous about that. I'm nervous about that as well. But I'm looking forward to just getting this out of me and my life back on track. And then my team get me back 100%, and my family get me back 100%. My dogs get me back 100%. So yeah, I suppose just yeah, if I didn't think I was going to get as emotional as I was today. If there's anybody else out there that's going through something similar and you're looking for someone to connect with, um, I'm up for a conversation. Um, it's not easy, whether you're in a leadership role or not. Um, it's not easy, and I'm learning. I'm learning all the time on how to deal with this stuff about, again, being a business owner and a leader and whatever. Um, I don't know what I'm doing. I really, I'm trying my best to keep up with where things are going and the team and whatever else. And it's confusing, at the best of times, let alone with this stuff going on. Um, so moving on to more positive things. So um, market wise, let's tap into the market right now. So it's tough. There's no two ways about that. There's a tough market. Um, we've got 17 or 18 live jobs at this stage, um, of which 15, I think, are exclusive, which, in terms of ratios, or I don't care who you are, for any recruitment company, that's brilliant. We're used to having, 25, 27 live jobs. So 18 feels just a little bit bare. We do keep track of, a number of different competitors to see how many they've got, but also how many are exclusive and so on. And even now, I looked on Monday because we have a Monday morning meeting every Monday, and I was looking, and I basically looked. I went onto four different websites, and all of them put together still had less than we had, and we're not the biggest fish out. Um, we're not the cheapest, but the fact that we still have more live jobs in the commercial space, um, and the large majority of them are still exclusive with us, is brilliant. Um, and again, I put that down to a lot of the team activity because I've just not been on the front line, um, over the last few months, and we are just, we're banging away. The BD is constant right now to try and get more jobs on. Um, candidate generation, we've been on that for since I can remember. Just because we've needed the candidates to be able to get into these jobs. And the turnaround's been quite good. We had a head of e-commerce and CRM job. Um, the client had, sort of, they're going through a lot of change, so it was a senior level role. We had that done and dusted, so started the search and filled within 2 weeks. And don't get me wrong, that was a big part to do with the client moving quickly, so they didn't sort of hang around and they knew what they wanted. Um, and that was actually a role that I personally sort of placed, which I was really happy about, because we hadn't worked with that client for a while. So that was a bit of a success there. But the market on the whole is pretty tough right now. There's nowhere near as many jobs as I would like right now. I think, like many recruiters, coming back from the summer holidays, it's usually sort of second week of September that things really kick back in, and that just hasn't really happened this year. We had a couple of jobs registered after the summer, and then it just went a bit dead. Last week we registered four new jobs, which was great, and we're hoping to, of course, register more and more now we're in conference season. So that's the market, if you like. Um, with regards to the business, so as I said, we're in conference season right now. So from September all the way through to December, or arguably through to the Jan, to be honest, with Global Revenue Forum and then the HOSPA graduation. I believe that's in the February or the March. So we've got a busy one with loads of different events, and it's usually cocktail evenings and after parties and award ceremonies and conferences and whatever. Um, and that's always a really exciting time for us because we get to go out, we get to see people, but in an environment where it's not just at their offices or whatever. It's in a more casual setting where you can just have a really good catch up, just to keep the breeze a little bit over a couple of drinks. So it's always a really nice time of year. So we've got a lot in terms of what we're going to get to in the diary, which is really cool. Because of course, it's also a business development opportunity. Anyone that's an external consultant or an agency like us, these events are opportunities. So that's always good. We've got our largest ever M&E commercial leadership meeting tomorrow. In fact, it's our largest commercial leadership meeting we've ever held. Definitely the largest I've ever been involved in. So we've got, I think the final numbers were 33 or 34 industry leaders and tech providers. So the most we've ever had prior to that was about 27. And that was at the 2024 tech meeting. And now we're in the 2025 tech meeting. Really cool, like unbelievable, because I think we've got 45 leaders on the lists now that want to be involved in this movement. And we started with 16. So it's grown over the last 3 years. Um, and we've achieved so much. It's nuts what we've been able to put together. And when I say we, I'm not saying the majority's been on us. It's been on the leaders, it's been on the people that live and breathe it. And I just feel very privileged to be part of it and have some sort of involvement. But yeah, though we've got that tomorrow. So when this comes out, we'll be in the meeting, which is kind of cool. Then we've got Jason's next event, so part two of his commercial leadership meeting, but all around bridging the gap between education and the real world of commercial. I believe he's setting that up for November, which is awesome. I love the fact that he's pioneering this and really flying the flag, and the traction seems to be there and the engagement's there. So that's awesome. And at the end of his sort of journey, if you like, there'll be a white paper all focused on bridging that gap and where the solutions are and where identifying the challenges and so on. So that's really, really cool. If you're watching this, Jason, it's honestly awesome, and I'm really happy for you that it's going so well. Start of November, we've got the MIA Awards. So of course we were shortlisted and now finalists for the Initiative of the Year award for our activities on the M&E side of things, with the launch of the white paper at the start of this year, which was just amazing. The feedback's just been it's blown me away. We've got we're after this meeting tomorrow, we'll be starting the process of creating volume two. So the M&E revenue management white paper point two. So that's really it's really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing it, with all the quotes in it and all the sort of findings that we've had this year. Because last year was all around recommendations, and um, this year has all been about action. So actioning these things and what we're doing rather than what we need to do. And this is what we think we should do. This is what we are doing now, which is amazing. And then next year will be all around conclusions. So we will be having another set of commercial leadership meetings next year dedicated to this subject, with a final part three white paper, which is all around the conclusions. So it'll be like a real sort of full circle, if you like. Yeah, be awesome, awesome. We've got RMAPI. So for those that don't know, I'm a committee member at RMAPI. We've got a fantastic lineup of speakers. Um, we've got a brilliant packed agenda. And we've got some great engagement, which is awesome because one of the biggest things that I'm sort of really wanting to push right now is new memberships and new engagement, not just within certain industries, but all industries that are dealing within revenue, what have revenue management part of it, or a function within it. And that's really cool. So we've got that coming up um, in on November 6th. And then the big one. So we've got obviously Hotspace, which we're sponsoring the Inspirational Revenue Manager of the Year award, which is now I believe it's our fifth year in a row sponsoring it, because next year will be our seventh year in a row sponsoring the OSPA graduation. But yeah, Hotspace is something that's close to my heart. There's so many people that I love that go, and it's going to be great to see everybody and catch up with everybody. And I am desperately, desperately hoping that I'm going to be okay for that event because I really don't want to miss that. Um, and then it's our end of year dinner, the event of the year, as some people call it. Um, it's because who was it? Stuart Booth. Stuart, if you're watching, he emailed me back when I put out the invites in July, and he said, "I swear this is becoming a cult thing," and I can't disagree too much. Um, so we needed more seats, and we couldn't do it at the Lucky Cat again because the maximum they had at that restaurant was 30 in private dining. So we had to find a new venue, and the new venue is so cool. It's called the Coal Shed. Everything cooked over fire, everything family style. So everything's put in the middle of the table and everyone just digs in. And the best part about it is we can have 40 people on one long table. So we've got 10 more than last year, and we've got a waiting list of about, I think, six or seven people that want to come but just didn't quite make the cut when returning the emails, because when we sent out the invites, we filled all the spots within like 2 days, which was nuts. Like nearly all of them went on the first day, and then the second day they were just the last few. Um, so I can't wait for that. It's our way of sort of saying goodbye to the year with the industry, and it's, as far as I'm aware, the last event that's in our clients' diaries, and their clients, contacts, industry friends, partners, so on and so forth. So I'm really looking forward to that. And yes, for anyone watching that is attending, the game is going to be here again this year. I've already got the prizes. So yeah, it's a good one. Um, I'm happy we touched on this video because I felt like the start of it was pretty tough. um, so that's a bit of an update with health, with market, with business. Health is in a difficult place. Market's in a difficult place. Business is in a good place, but could be better. But I'm really excited for the next few months because we've got so much going on. Um, and the E&Ftv is just going from strength to strength. So we're filming tomorrow. We're obviously filming the different events that we've got over the next couple of months. So it's going to be very active on there. And we're going to be taking you with us on everything. So if you're not already, click the subscribe button. If there are people out there that this video has resonated with and you want someone to connect with, just drop me a DM, drop me a message. Yeah, yeah, I don't really know what I was going to record when I press record on this one, but thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. As ever, I really do appreciate it, and I will take Danica's advice. I will be doing another one once I have a consultation on the 15th of this month. So once I've had that, I'll probably do another one because then I'll know which direction we're going in. And yeah, we'll see where that goes. So as I say, thank you so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. And wish me luck for tomorrow, the big meeting. Bye bye.